Shalom, shalom. Giving all praise to the Most High by saying hallelujah. Giving thanks to the Creator for allowing me and my family to see another day of His creation by saying Torah. Today I want to talk about legacy. And I want to speak to the men. You know, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for your children? Because we all going to die one day. And we all going to be remembered for something, whether it's good or whether it's bad. But you're going to be remembered for something. Genesis chapter 6. We're going to look at a few great men and see what kind of legacy they left behind. Look at Genesis chapter 6, verse 8 and 9. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yah. Verse 9. These are the generation of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with the Creator. Noah walked with Elohim. That's a great legacy to leave behind. That he had a relationship with the Creator. And he walked with the Creator. And when obstacles came his way, the Most High was there to have mercy upon him. That's a great legacy to leave behind. That he was a just man. Great legacy. Let's go to Genesis chapter 18. Genesis chapter 18. And we want to look at verse 17. Another great man in the Holy Scriptures. Abraham. Genesis 18, verse 17. And Yah said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Yah to do justice and judgment, that Yah may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. Not only did the Most High said Abraham would do what's right, but he said he knew that Abraham would command his children to do what's right. And he said, because his relationship with Abraham, he said, I'm not going to hide nothing from him, because I know the type of person that Abraham is. See, that's a great thing for the Most High to say about me and you, that he knows no matter what obstacle faces us, he knows without a shadow of a doubt that we're going to make the right decision. Why? Because the relationship that we have with him. That's the type of legacy that we all should want to have with the Creator. That he knows we're going to make the right decision. No matter what other people are doing, he knows that you're going to make the right decision. And I'm speaking to the men. No matter when you see other people out drinking and acting a fool or smoking dope or cheating on their wife, the Most High know that you're not going to do that. Why? Because you have a great relationship with the Creator. That's the type of legacy that you want to leave behind as a father and as a man. That regardless of the situation that I'm facing, that the Creator knows that I'm going to make the right decision. And the Creator knows that I'm going to do what's right. Let's look at Exodus 33, verse 11. Just a few scriptures dealing with some of the means and the great legacy left behind, even for us to follow today. Exodus chapter 33, verse 11. And Yah spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaking unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, the young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. Great legacy, where Moshe spoke face to face with the Creator. That's a great legacy to leave behind. That he had a relationship so close with the Creator that he spoke face to face as me and you speak to our friends. Great legacy. Something that we should strive to be. Something that we should strive to do is build a great relationship with the Creator where he can speak to us face to face, and he will. Just imagine how your children, your sons, and your daughters seeing this, how that's going to impact their lives. That their father had a great relationship with the Creator where he spoke face to face with the Creator. 2 Kings chapter 22. Because as I said, you're going to leave a legacy behind, whether it's a good one or whether it's a bad one. So what do you want people to say about you? When the Creator calls you home, what do you want the people to say about you? What do you want your children to say about you? What do you want your family members to say about you? 2 Kings 22, verse 1 and 2. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jedediah, the daughter of Adiah of Balshkat. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yah, and walked in all the way of David his father, and turned not aside to the right hand or the left hand. Josiah left a good legacy, meaning that no matter what was going on, what other people was doing, he was going to stay straight and narrow. He was going to do that which was right. He was going to make the right decision, no matter how people may try to influence him or whatever the case may be. He was going to do that which was right in the sight of the Most High. Now, can the Creator say that about me and you? Can the Creator say that about you? Will you make the right decision when you face with difficult circumstances arise in your life? Will you make the right decision? Speaking to the men, if you get laid off from your job, will you make the right decision to do that which is right? Or will you try to find shortcuts to go out and try to make you a living or make you some money? If a young lady, you married, and a young lady try to proposition you, will you make the right decision? Will you do that which is right? This is the type of decision that men have to leave great legacy behind. Proverbs 12 and 3. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 3. What type of legacy you want to leave behind? Do you want to leave a legacy behind where your children say that, man, my father was a rolling stone? Do you want to have a legacy behind where my father fought my mother? My father had all these children by different women? Is that the kind of legacy you want to leave behind? Or my father worked all of his life and didn't leave nothing behind for his children? Is that the type of legacy you want to leave behind? Proverbs 12 and 3. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. You're not going to be established by wickedness. Yeah, your mind can play tricks with you, but you're not going to be established by wickedness. You might get away with things that are not right, but you're not going to get by. You're not going to be established by wickedness. I don't care who you are. The universe would not allow you to keep doing wrong and keep getting away with it. That goes for me, you, and anybody else. Just keep living, and you will see. Proverbs 13 and 22. Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children. Let's read that again. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. So a good man not only leave an inheritance for his children, but he leaves it to his children's children, meaning his grandchildren. Now the Most High said that's a good man. So then, if you're not trying to leave something behind for your children and grandchildren, then according to the scriptures, you're not a good man. You spend all your time working, making a living, having money in your hand, and you didn't think to save nothing for your children or your grandchildren. You didn't put nothing aside for your children or the grandchildren. And in some instances, when you die, your family out there begging with buckets to try to bury you. But you spent all that time making money coming through your hands. You had an opportunity to do what was right. You had an opportunity to set aside something for your children, but you just chose not to. You were selfish. You didn't think about your children. And unfortunately, many men today don't think about their children at all. Because if they did, then we'll see our children be in the situation they're in. And we wonder why the young people, so we always speak about how the young people are acting. But what environment did they come up in? What example did they have? I always hear people say, well, black people won't work together. We won't come together. First of all, you don't need everybody to come together. A nation is built one family at a time. Only thing you need is your family. You and your family come together. Y'all unite and come together. Y'all come together and put your resources together and see what you can accomplish. But unfortunately, many times within families, they don't want to come together. So we have no excuse. Some of you come from large families and won't put your resources together. Some of you have 4 and 5, 6 brothers. Won't put their resources together to come together for nothing. Nation to build family, one family at a time. And anytime you see a nation that shows a lack of regard for the young, the elderly, and the women, then you'll see that that nation's soon going to fall. But back to legacy. What kind of legacy you want to leave behind? Let's go to Proverbs 18 and 14. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 14. It said the name, Proverbs 18 and 14, the spirit of man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear? A wounded spirit who can bear? Look at Proverbs 18 and verse 22. It said, whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of Yah. See, finding a wife is a blessing of the Most High, and it allows you to obtain favor from the Creator. But a lot of men, they don't want no wives. They want girlfriends. And only a silly woman will be in a relationship and allow a man to keep her a girlfriend where she have no benefits at all. Only a silly woman will go for that. But the Most High told us to find wives, not girlfriend. But unfortunately, many of our sisters are allowing these men to keep them in girlfriend status, where they have no, if something happened, they have nothing to fall back on. What kind of legacy you want to leave behind as a man? You done wasted all your money. Didn't think about your children. Some of you don't even think about your wife. And this is for the men that are married and have wives. If something happened to you, are you laying a foundation for your family to be taken care of, even in your absence? Something to think about. See, when you're a man, you do things that's right. The Most High called a man. As a man, we are providers and protectors. We're just like the thermostat in the home. And a thermostat, what is a thermostat designed to do? The thermostat in the home designed to keep the temperature keep the temperature cool where everybody's comfortable. If it's too hot, it cools you down. If you're too cold, you can turn the thermostat to warm you up. And as a man, we're supposed to be like that. We're supposed to have the temperature so within our homes that everybody's comfortable. The Creator gave us that charge. But unfortunately, many of us are not living up to the standards that the Creator laid out for us. And many of us are leaving a legacy behind that is not a good legacy to follow. Our children can't follow that legacy because we're not leaving good examples. We're leaving behind being drunkards. We're leaving behind being drug addicts. We're leaving behind that we were whoredom and making our sisters out to be whores. That's the legacy that a lot of us are leaving behind. Dysfunction of families. But that's not what the Creator told us to do. When we don't follow the ways of the Creator, we follow the ways of the Gentile. That's why He told us in Proverbs 3:31, envy not the oppressor and choose not his ways. And what have we done as men? We have chosen the ways of the Gentiles. Look at Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. Live joyfully with thy wife, whom thou lovest all the days of thy life, of thy vanity which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of the vanity. For that is a portion in this life, and in the labor which thou takest under the sun. The Most High only respects men that are doing that which is right. And if you have a wife, the Most High expects us to treat our wives right. He expects us to live joyfully with our wives. He expects us to teach our children right and wrong. Not only does He expect us to teach our children right and wrong, but He expects us to be an example to do what's right ourselves. You know, as a child, I used to always hear older people say, don't do as I do, do as I say. That's hypocritical. No, you do as I do. As I lead the example, if I set the example for you to follow. You have to watch people, and I used to hear preachers saying that. Don't do as I do. Don't do as I do as I say. And as a child, I used to always think, man, that don't even make sense. If anything, you're supposed to set the example as an adult. You don't want your children to smoke dope, but you smoking dope. You don't want your son to sell drugs, but you sell drugs. You don't want your daughter to be a hoe, but you a hoe. You don't want your son to go out there and spread his seed amongst all the women out there and babies here and baby there. But the father, you as a father, you're doing that. That's not the legacy that no man should want to leave behind. We want to leave a legacy behind like our foreparents. That they had a legacy that they was going to do what's right. They was going to teach their children right. They was going to treat their wives right. That's the legacy that we want to leave behind. But unfortunately, within our community, a lot of men are leaving a bad legacy behind. They're not leaving a legacy that their children can look up to and be proud of. You know, this is my father. That's my uncle. That's my brother. Unfortunately, many of us are leaving a legacy behind of shame. But in my closing, what do you want your legacy to be? How do you want people to remember you as a man? What do you want your children to say about you? Do you want your children to say, you know, my father was a great man. He treated my mother with respect. He provided for us. He left an inheritance for us. Is that what you want your children to say? That's what I want my children to say about me when I depart this earth. That's why I try to do everything that's right within the power that the Most High gave me. Because I understand that this life that the Most High gave me is not only for me. Sometimes we get to thinking that my life is just my life. My life don't affect nobody else. But I'm here to say your life does affect other people. The decision that you make not only affects you, but affects other people. So the choices that we make will determine the life we live. So as man, let's step up to the plate. And let's make right choices. And let's leave a legacy behind that our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren can be proud of. Shalom, shalom.